Swifter.
Correct. Coventry Cathedral was consecrated in 1960.
Forces were Breton, and beyond them, probably on.
Gebel Hayans into Concerne, Appenzans, and Jewers and Tau Asil.
From the following categories. Let's have a look at the board there. Stage and screen, you'll see questions from the arts. You'll have history questions, topical, places, music, sport. 7 categories in all. And let me remind you that the winner of each jackpot game gets an opportunity to go on and play for jackpot prizes. Let's have a look now at some of the jackpot prizes which are on offer tonight.
This Irish-designed 18-carat gold pendant, a snooker table, and this magnificent 22-inch remote-controlled colour television set.
Well, Martin Concannon joins us again from last week. You're back with us?
Yes.
You're in good fettle?
Certainly.
Right. So, Martin, we left you at the situation where you had a jackpot. In fact, it was your 3rd jackpot on the row, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you're £150 to the good. You have a toaster, you have a ladies' watch, you have a clock radio. You are cleaning the place out, I think, as we pointed out. Now, I want to ask you, do you want to stay as you are? Do you want to hold on to your £150 and your prizes and play against the next contestant? Or will you opt to go for the jackpot question?
I'll take a chance on it. I'll go for the jackpot.
Right, well, you're going strong, probably a good decision. You know that if you miss the first one, however, you're out. Well, you know that anyhow. So let's have a look at the prizes that Martin is going to have as well, some of the jackpot prizes.
If you like a coffee and a cigarette together, then this coffee maker will make you filter coffee till your heart's content. It doesn't say whether it'll also make you filter cigarettes. You know the sort of person who gets on the telephone and talks the legs off you? Well, let them try and talk the legs off this telephone table. And an 18-carat gold pendant. Talk about wearing your heart on your sleeve. Now you can wear your life savings around your neck. Or would you believe a week's wages after tax?
Right, well, actually, I shouldn't have made that remark about the gold pendant. It's worth considerably more than a week's wages, closer to a month's, I would think. Anyhow, let's get straight on to your jackpot question, your first jackpot question, Martin. The Rover's Return is a setting in what TV soap opera?
Coronation Street.
Coronation. Right, absolutely spot on. And you have the filter coffee note. We'll go on now to try for the telephone table. This is for making the old long-distance calls, right? Guildenstern and Rosencrantz are characters in what Shakespeare play?
I'll guess as you like it.
I'm sorry, it's Hamlet. I would have thought that wasn't too tricky for you, but nonetheless, you've got the filter coffee maker, and you're still in there, and you're swinging, and you have £150, coffee maker, watch, toaster, clock radio, still going strong. Let's go and meet your next challenger, your first challenger today, who is Mr. Brian Kenealy from Kilkenny. Would you welcome Brian Kenealy, please? Brian, you're very welcome. Did you come up today?
I did, yes.
Especially for us.
Oh, yes.
We are honoured to have you here. You know the rules?
Yes.
You're all set to do battle?
Yes.
Right, let's go straight away to our board and find out where the questions are coming from. Places. Martin, your places question. Have a look at your monitor actually coming up now. You'll have a look at this. The fortress Dún Aengus is situated on which islands?
It's situated on Inishmore in the Aran Islands.
That was a rather easy question for you, and you just only a few miles from it. Turning to you, Brian, in which Irish county are the Cliffs of Moher?
Clare.
Clare it is. Let's move on straight away. No delay. And we're on topical questions. Martin, your topical question, level pegging. In politics, what is an MEP? What is he?
A member of the European Parliament.
Great. Duty-free and perks and whatnot, right? And lots of price to Brussels. Brian, in which European country is there a trade union movement, the name of which translates as solidarity?
Poland.
Solidarity is sounds like something we went to on Friday nights. Roll on, let's have the question. The arts. Okay, Martin, your arts question, and again it's dead level pegging as we go into the arts section. The introduction of Wood's Halfpence to Ireland invoked the wrath of what satirist in the Drapier Letters? What satirist?
Dean Swift.
Spot on, correct it is. Brian, What was the name of the clerk that that Scrooge to? What was the name of the clerk that Scrooge was cruel to? That's the 7-second buzzer. I have to throw that over to you. In fact, it was Bob Cratchit, no? From Charles Dickens. Right, let's move on. Let's find our next question. History question for you, Martin. Name the King of Leinster who invited the Normans to invade Ireland in 1169.
Rory O'Connor.
No, I put the question over to you.
It's the other Dermot McMurrough.
Dermot McMurrough is right, in fact. I should remind you, of course, that you have the 7 seconds in which to get your question, and you'll hear the buzzer for the 7 seconds when they're up. Your own history question, Brian. On the 21st of December 1948, a bill was signed in Dublin by President Sean T. O'Kelly, making Ireland what?
Republic.
Spot on, correct. And you're back on level. In fact, you're a level ahead of us. Let's pick a question. Rattle up a question for us there. And the computer has come up with music. Right. Martin, have a listen to this.
Well, come a little baby, let's jump the broomstick. Come a little time on. Come a little baby, let's jump the broomstick. Come a little time on.
All right. What American female artist had hits in the early 60s with that song, had a hit with that song in particular?
I'm sorry, I haven't a clue.
Theresa Brewer.
No, I'm sorry, it was Brenda Lee. Let's go on to your question. Have a listen to this, Brian.
Trailer for sale or rent. Rooms to let 50 cents. No phone, no pool, no pets. Ain't got no cigarette.
All right. This American had a hit in 1965 with that record. Can you name him?
Roger Miller.
Spot on, correct it is. And you go 2 letters into the lead. Rattling away. Where are we? We're coming to sport. Martin, sport. With which sport would you associate Nicholas Alexander Faldo?
Golf.
Right, better known as Nick Faldo. The pentathlon became an Olympic event from 1964 for women. How many athletic events are there in this contest?
5.
5 there are, and you're looking for a jackpot. Let's find ourselves a question. Or even a pair of questions, would you believe. Martin, have a look at your monitor for this. In the summer of 1979, he was the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland. Will you name him?
Humphrey Atkins.
Humphrey Atkins it is. Humphrey Atkins. Brian, your history question, and it's another one that you'll want to look at your monitor for. This Burmese diplomat was UN Secretary General until 1971. Can you give me his name, please?
U Tant.
U Tant it was. And we have a jackpot. Congratulations to you, Brian. Martin, you've had a very, very good run. You have 150 plus 25, you have 175. That's not bad, I think you're doing very well, and you've had about 3 or 4 prizes out of it as well. We've lost the catalogue at this stage. Thanks for being with us, and thank you for playing Jackpot.
Thank you
now, Martin certainly gave us a run for our money, I can tell you. Brian Kenealy is the new Jackpot champion. The king is dead, long live the king. I suppose that's the sort of situation. Brian, you now have £50 in your back pocket. You can hang on to it, or you can go for jackpot prizes. There are 3 jackpot questions, 3 corresponding prizes. The snag is, if you miss the first one, you hold on to your £50, but you leave us. The alternative is to play on against the next opponent. Do you wish to go for the jackpot?
I go for the jackpot.
You'll go for the jackpot. Well played, sir. So let's have a look now at the jackpot prizes on offer.
An automatic electric kettle. Most of you don't need me to tell you that an electric kettle is for boiling water. Those of you who do most likely don't have a television, so I won't bother explaining. Ever looked longingly at a beautiful girl but were afraid to ask her to dance because she was on the other side of O'Connell Street? Well, now you can start up your own disco anywhere with this portable stereo radio and cassette and dance with the girls of your dreams. Right through the 1:30 news even. Win this snooker table and you can teach yourself to become as good as Steve Davis, Dennis Taylor, or even Gay Burns' accountant, who could pocket everything.
Right, straight away we go. Brian, you're playing first of all for the Electric Kettle. Can you name the author of the plays Sive, The Year of the Hiker, and Many Young Men of 20?
John B. Cain.
John B. Keane it was. No bother to you. In 1980, when Cyrus Vance resigned as U.S. Secretary of State, who was the U.S. President?
In what year? Sorry.
It was in 1980, when Cyrus Vance resigned as U.S. Secretary of State.
Gerald Ford.
I'm sorry, it was Jimmy Carter. You missed on the Reagan thing. In fact, I thought you were going to go for Reagan. In fact, it was the Carter regime. Right, nonetheless, you are ahead by a kettle at £50. Let's go and meet our next contestant. So will you welcome, please, Susan Powell from Bowdyke in County Clare. Susan. Sit yourself down there, fault your oath. It's a long, long way from Clare to here.
It certainly is.
I bet you they say that just everywhere you
They
go.
do,
Yes.
yes.
It's so cliched, and I promise I'll never say it again to a person from Clare. You know the rules of the game, right? 7 seconds to answer a question. If you don't answer within the 7 seconds, the question goes over to the opposition. First person to light up the full word. 7 questions. And our first questions will be from stage and screen, and we'll ask the reigning jackpot champion, Brian Kenealy, what is the name given to someone who arranges dance movements?
Choreographer.
Choreographer is absolutely correct. Susan, what film actor was born Frederick Austerlitz in Nebraska, 1899?
Fred Astaire.
Fred Astaire is spot on. Are you good on the movies generally and stage and screen, that kind of thing? Okay, I thought it was tricky enough. Let's find a new set of questions. We're to places. Brian, what is the capital of Romania?
Bucharest.
Bucharest is spot on correct. And Susan, your question on places. What is the capital inaugurated in 1960 of Brazil?
Brasilia.
Brasilia is absolutely correct. We're on level pegging. We're on level pegging, JE. And our next question will be from the topical section. Brian, which European country did Rudolf Lubbers become Prime Minister of in 1982?
The Netherlands.
The Netherlands, Ruud Lubbers. Susan, in 1983, who succeeded Menachem Begin as Prime Minister of Israel?
Chaim Herzog.
Sorry, I left off the question to you, Brian. Sorry.
Rabin.
No, it's Yitzhak Shamir, and I have to be very quick on those questions because you've had the same 7 seconds as the opposition. Straight on we go. Where are we? Sport. Brian, Joe DiMaggio, former husband of Marilyn Monroe, was a famed player in which US sport?
Baseball.
Baseball it was. Susan, with what sport would you associate René Arnoux?
Motor racing.
Motor racing. Let's trundle away. Trundle, trundle, trundle. And the computer has landed on the arts. The arts it is. For you, Brian, the Nautilus of the Jules Verne novel, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, was captained by whom?
Captain Nemo.
Nemo it is. Susan, who wrote the heroic novel Ivanhoe?
Sir Walter Scott.
Sir Walter Scott. Let's move. Let's move to more questions. We must have more questions. And they'll come from music. The music section. Brian, Al Jolson starred in the film The Jazz Singer. What singer-songwriter starred in the 1981 remake?
Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond, that's it. Susan, name the English rock star who became chairman of Watford Soccer Club in 1976.
Elton John.
Elton John, right. And as we go on to the next round, we see that Brian is on for a jackpot. Let's find a question. Stage and screen. Brian, in The Godfather Part 1, who played the role of Sonny Corleone?
James Caan.
James Caan is absolutely correct. You have a jackpot. Susan, this man is just in form at the moment. You have £25. Congratulations. Thank you for taking part. And we're sorry to see you go.
Thank you.
Thanks for being such a... Brian, you're one jackpot to the good. Now, you can go on, play on against the next opponent, or you can opt to play for jackpot questions.
I'll go for the jackpot again.
Jackpot prizes. Let's have a look at the jackpot prizes.
If you've always longed to barge your way to the bar like that chap in the ad who keeps bumping into people, you have an excuse now. An American football, or you may just visit the gents' room. Who knows what you might find there? A Super Bowl? These days, everyone is peddling something, and not always for the good of your health, though peddling this lady's bicycle definitely is. And what about this beautiful 22-inch remote-controlled colour television set? Just like your husband in the corner there. Except though, while he's remote, he's also beyond control.
All right, let's move on to the first question. This is for the American football and accessories, Brian, which I think you'll find very useful. What is the unit of currency of the Republic of India?
The rupee.
The rupee. And you have the American football? And the Do you ever watch the American football at all on
Yes, I've watched it, yeah.
Fancy it?
Well, I prefer rugby, but yeah, it's quite...
Would have given it a go at another stage.
Yeah.
What is the official language of the Republic of Panama? This is for the ladies' bicycle. The language of the Republic of Panama.
Spanish.
Spanish is spot on correct. Don't think there's anything sexist about that prize. You could use it yourself. I think you'll be very happy with it. Ladies' bicycle or not, if it'll get you around and there's no petrol involved. Right, this is for the 22-inch remote control colour television. What precious metal is known by the symbol AG? Sorry, I'll repeat that. The symbol AG.
Silver.
Spot on correct. You have a jackpot and you have the colour television. Brian, you are in fine form. You're doing very well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What have you got now? So far you have the kettle, you have the football, you have the bicycle, and you have the television set. You have 100 quid. Not bad at all, I don't think. I think a good night's work so far. We'll go on and meet your next opponent. And he is Mr. Jim Feely from Fancroft, Rosscray, County Tipperary. Jim. Sit yourself in there and make yourself at home. You're watching from the wings, you know the rules.
I know the rules.
Are you set to do battle?
Yes.
You give this man a run for his money.
We'll try.
Give him a run for our money then.
Right.
Right, let's get straight into it and have a look at our first set of questions. And they're topical questions. Will you have a look at your monitor for this one, Brian? It's a slide, and you'll see there this particular woman, right? She is the Irish women's marathon record holder, and she married a Canadian marathon champion, Dave Edge, in October '85. Can you name her?
Terry May.
Spot on correct. I'm beginning to wonder, do you have a weak section at all? You're hitting out left, right and centre, stage and screen and music and what have you. Right, your topical question. Jim, he was appointed, have a look at your monitor there in front of you, he's coming up. He was appointed chairman of CIE on January the 1st, 1984. Can you name him first?
St. John Devlin.
I'm sorry, I'll pop the question to you, Brian.
Don't know.
It's Paul Conlon, in fact. Let's go straight on and find our second series of questions. Places. Brian, the Arabian Sea is part of which ocean? The Arabian Sea is part of which ocean? There's the 7-second buzzer.
Pacific.
No, I'm sorry. In fact, it was the Indian Ocean. So I had thrown that over to Jim and he didn't get it either. Right. Let's go to your own places question, Jim. The Murray, approximately 1,600 miles long, is the principal river in what country?
Australia.
Australia. Correct. So we go on and level pegging into our next section. Section. Wake up, Morgan. The arts. Brian, the book entitled Up in the Park is the diary of the wife of the American ambassador to Ireland in the 3 years 1977 to 1981. It was written by who?
Mrs. Shannon.
Well, I'll take that. All right, Elizabeth Shannon. Right, coming to you. Jim, the books, The Moon's a Balloon and Bring on the Empty Horses were written by which film actor?
Sorry, I don't know.
No thoughts on that one?
No thoughts on that one.
David Niven.
David Niven is absolutely correct. We're 3-1 ahead. Let's fly on and find our next set of questions. Music. Brian, what illustrious German did Cosima Liszt, daughter of the composer Franz Liszt, marry in August 1870?
Wagner.
Richard Wagner. And your music question, Jim. The opera La Bohème, first performed in 1896, was composed by
Puccini.
Puccini is absolutely correct. Spot on correct. There's a bit of a tussle in it here. Let's find our next questions. I say find our next questions. I didn't mean they were lost, honest. History question for you, Brian. In what year did the Japanese attack the US fleet at Pearl Harbor?
1941.
1941 on December the 7th. Jim, on the 17th of November, 1869, what famous canal was opened?
Suez Canal.
Suez Canal is correct. It's close enough as we go on to our next set of questions. Sports questions. Did you tell me sports was your very strongest point?
No, I didn't tell you anything.
I'm hurt to the quick. Oh, we'll just find a difficult one for that. Well said. In the 1981 All-Ireland Senior Hurling Final, who defeated Galway?
Offaly.
Offaly is correct. Jim, he said, still smarting from that one. The 1983 Senior All-Ireland Football Final was won by which team?
Kerry.
I'm sorry.
It was the one that didn't win, Offaly.
No, and you were on the jackpot. In fact, it was Dublin. So let's go on and find our next set of questions. Right, you're on a jackpot for this, Brian. Did you tell me topical? Who was elected Prime Minister of Spain in December 1982?
Felipe Gonzalez.
Is absolutely correct. And you have yet one more jackpot. Jim, you take with us our good wishes. You have £15. I hope you enjoyed playing jackpot.
I did indeed. Thanks very much, John.
Thank you, Jim. Now, let's get this absolutely straight, Brian Kenealy. You have £150, a kettle, a football, a bicycle, and a television. You're clearing out the prizes faster than we can get them into the studio. So, you are now on, you have now got your third jackpot. You can go. You know the routine better than anybody at this stage. You can stay as you are. Will you go for the jackpot?
I'm greedy.
You go for the jackpot. Right, let's have a look at the jackpot prizes that you are going for.
This AM, FM clock radio has an alarm that will give you a singing in your ears. That'll be Marty's show on Radio 2. A nest of 3 tables. This is for the party that starts to expand. And a VHS recorder. When you arrive home late, you can put on a tape of Martin Market and sleep soundly for the night.
Okay, I won't be popular in Martin Market. Brian, you're going first of all for the clock radio, okay? And your first question for that. Which well-known athlete became the public relations officer of Dublin Corporation in 1972?
Noel Carroll.
Noel Carroll, that's right. He has his run off his feet. He does a lot of running, that's because he knows what the roads are like. Now, this is for the nest of 3 tables, okay? Margot Fontaine appeared in the ballet Giselle in London in 1962. Starring opposite her was a famous dancer who had fled Russia. Who was he?
Urayev.
Rudolf Nureyev is near enough for anyone. And you're now going for the VHS video recorder. To whom did Joseph Haydn say in 1792, quote, "Not only do I encourage you to pursue further the study of music, I also suggest you continue it with me in Vienna."
Mozart.
I'm sorry, it was Beethoven. Nonetheless, you are now a clock radio, a nest of tables, football bicycle, television, kettle, and £150 to the good. And as we say that, we come to the end of this edition of Jackpot. Can you join us again next Thursday, Brian?
Can, yes.
Well, it'll be interesting to see just how long your run goes on for. You're in fine form. We'll see you again on Thursday. Thanks very much to our studio audience and to all of you at home for joining us. See you next Thursday. Thank you for joining Jackpot.
Since the return of Jackpot to our screen,
Thank you. We have an absolutely splendid studio audience in, and thanks for that warm welcome. Welcome to you all at home. Welcome to Jackpot, a general knowledge quiz game between pairs of contestants who fight it out over questions which range from the following categories. Have a look at the board up here behind me. You'll see stage and screen, the arts, history. You have topical questions, questions about places, musical questions, and sporting questions. Right. Now, when we left you last week, we had a gentleman incumbent as the champion. We'll meet him in a minute, but let's just have a look at some of the jackpot prizes which will be available to the jackpot players tonight.
A portable colour television set. A Shannon Cruise. A video camera and recorder.
Right, now, will you welcome back, please, from our last episode, will you welcome back last Thursday's champion, Mr. Brian Kenealy. From last Tuesday, I should say. I'm losing all track of time and everything, so I'm going gaga in the studio altogether. Welcome back, Brian. Let me just recap on what you have won. You have won so far, from Jackpot, a kettle. You've won a football, a bicycle, a television set, a clock radio, tables, £150. That's not bad. I think that's worth a serious round of applause. So, let's get straight in and meet opponent, who comes all the way from Drina, outside Dunmanway in West Cork. Will you welcome, please, Mary Young. Mary, settle yourself down. You're happy. Which is longer, the way from Drina to here, or from that door over to there?
From there to here, I think.
Yeah, I think it always feels that way.
Yes.
You know the rules of the game, but I'll just recap them for you. Each correct answer, okay, on a question, obviously, lights up a letter on the word jackpot. And the first person to light up the entire word, the first person to answer 7 questions correctly, wins that particular game of jackpot and gets an opportunity to play for jackpot prizes, okay? You have 7 seconds to answer your question within that 7-second period. If you don't, you'll hear this buzzer at the end of the 7 seconds. And that's it. The game is, well, that particular question is up to you. If you don't have the answer, we'll throw it over to the opposition, vice versa, okay? So, a fiver for each question, a fiver for each correct answer, 50 quid if you win the jackpot. Let's get straight in and see where our first questions are going to come from. Right, a history question it is. Will you have a look, and now, Brian, at your monitor in front of you. Now, the 1964 Nobel Peace Prize, the Nobel Peace Prize, was awarded to this American civil rights leader. Can you name him?
Martin Luther King.
That's absolutely correct. Right, coming to you, Mary, your history question. Will you have a look at your monitor in front of you? In 1967, this king of Greece went into exile in Rome. Can you name him?
King Constantine.
King Constantine is spot on correct. Level pegging, let's find a question. Topical question. And have a look at your screens now coming up for this one. Okay, here we see Mr. Gorbachev. He's arriving very shortly. He's arriving with his wife for the summit meeting with Mr. Reagan in November of last year, 1985. In what city was the meeting held? Brian, your question.
Geneva.
In Geneva, in Switzerland, absolutely right. Mary, One more time, I will ask you to bend your eyes to the screen in front of you and have a look at your clue, which is coming up now. And your question is, can you name this Greenpeace ship which was sunk by French Secret Service agents in New Zealand in 1985?
The Rainbow Warrior.
The Rainbow Warrior is absolutely correct. Nasty bit of work that was too. Let's have a look at the next question. The arts, right. Brian, this man was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, the Nobel Prize for Literature, I beg your pardon, in 1970. Can you name him? The 1970 Nobel Prize for Literature was won by this man. I'm sorry, you haven't got it. You'll have to ask the question of Mary.
Was it Solzhenitsyn?
Alexander Solzhenitsyn is perfectly correct. It's the kind of name you don't want to answer with a few drinks on you. Solzhenitsyn. And your own question, Mary, on the arts. James Plunkett. James Plunkett is well known as being the author of Strumpet City. What is the title of his second novel telling of life between the wars?
Farewell Companions.
Farewell Companions is spot on correct. And you go flying into a 4-2 lead. Right, let's have a look at some more questions. Shuffle up the subjects there, please. Computer, do your business. Music it is. Okay, have a listen to this, will you?
I'm a jack to a king, from loneliness to a wedding ring. I played an ace and I won a queen, and walked
Okay,
away.
Brian, From a Jack to a King was a hit in the 1960s, but for which American singer?
Bobby Darn.
No, I'll throw it over to you.
Don Everly.
No, I'm afraid it was Miller, Ned Miller. Your own question, your own audio question. We'll have a listen to this.
In New Orleans, they call the rising sun. And it means the ruin.
Who was the lead singer with the English pop group The Animals, which had a hit with that song in 1964, in fact? The lead singer with The Animals.
What I haven't a clue. I'll chance Roger Daltrey, I know some.
No.
Young. Neil Young.
No, in fact, it was Eric Burden. Okay, let's rattle straight on and see where we are. Status quo held, it's still 4-2 in favour of Mary. We'll find a question from stage and screen. Okay, will you have a look at your monitor for this one, please? Right, can you name this RTE athletic personality seen here as a schoolboy, Brian?
Brendan O'Reilly.
Brendan O'Reilly, legs himself. Mary, I'd like you to look at your screen for this as well. We see here, as a teenager, a certain RTE presenter of Today Tonight. An RTE presenter of Today Tonight, seen as a teenager. Could you name her?
Tonight. Olivia O'Leary.
No. Brian? Sorry, Una Claffey. I can't give you the benefit of more than the time that Mary's had. Right, let's rattle straight on and find where we're going. Where are we going? Ha! We are going to sport. Sports question for you, Brian. Name the winner of the English Grand National in the years 73, 74, 77.
Red Rum.
Red Rum it was. The one and only. And Mary's question is, Eamon Coughlin was fourth in the 1976 Montreal Olympics in the 1500 metres. Who was first, can you recall?
Sebastian Coe.
No, Brian.
John Walker.
John Walker of New Zealand is right. Well, I remember that in tears watching what I was. And we find a question coming to us from places. Places for you, Brian. Where was Florence Nightingale, known as the Lady of the Lamp, born? Florence Nightingale.
In Florence.
In Florence, actually, in Italy, yeah. That was a tricky one. Right. Was that guesswork, or had you known that?
No,
before?
I knew she wasn't born in England.
Right, okay. Throwing it over to you, Mary, a question on places, your own question on places. What is the name of the country house of the British Prime Minister?
Checkers.
Checkers it is. Rock on! Let's go. Dizzy technology brings us to music. Music, Brian. Reach Out, I'll Be There. That's one song. Bernadette. That's the second one. And Walk Away, Renee. These were hits in the 1960s. For which American group?
The Platters.
No.
Everly Brothers.
No, in fact it was the Four Tops. Mary, your own question on music. This American group had hits with Monday, Monday, Dedicated to the One I Love, and Creek Alley in the 1960s. Who were they? Dedicated to the One I Love? Monday, Monday? No, nothing doing. Sorry?
Carpenters?
No, it was the Mamas and the Papas. We're not doing well on pop. Gen up on your pop in future. Let's have more. Let's have more of this. And more of this is sport. We're back to sport again. We have a sports-orientated computer. Brian, and you're on a jackpot. In what country were the Winter Olympics, the Winter Olympic Games, held in 1980?
America, Lake Placid.
Lake Placid is absolutely correct. And you have a jackpot. I turn to you, Mary, and all I can say is you're up against a man who's on form. You have £25. I hope you didn't feel your journey was in vain, and I hope you enjoyed playing Jackpot. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Brian, you have won exactly 4 games of Jackpot at this stage. I think you know the option. You can stay as you are, you can play for the Jackpot prizes. Which do you want to do?
I think you're trying to get rid of me, are you?
Me? Never.
It's the way, you said it.
No, sorry, let me rephrase. Hey, Ryan, would you like to play for the Jackpot prizes?
I sure would.
Which will you do?
I'll go on Jackpots.
You'll go for the Jackpot prize. Okay, let's have a look at some of the Jackpot prizes that Brian has.
When you win a jackpot, it means £50, and here to help you get straightened out a little further is a steam iron. A 35mm camera. This is the official Maori-approved camera for the Queen's visit to New Zealand. It comes complete with a quick flash. And this portable colour television set, light and easy to carry, it will delight most people, especially the thief who's trying to get it out your window.
Right, and we come to you, Brian, and this is going, you've won 4 jackpots and you're going for your 4th set of jackpot prizes. For the steam iron, your first question. What is the name of the lead singer with the group whose albums include Boy, that was one album, War, that was the other album, and The Unforgettable Fire was the 3rd album?
Bono.
Bono is spot on correct. You too. And you were trying to tell me that you didn't know much about pop. Okay, this is for the 35mm camera. In 1799, who declared himself first consul of France?
Napoleon.
Napoleon Bonaparte is spot on correct. And now you are going for the portable colour television. I don't know what you're going to do with all these televisions if you get this one. What discovery was made by chemist Carl Scheele of Sweden? That's S-C-H-E-E-L-E. Carl Scheele of Sweden in 1770. And independently by Englishman Joseph Priestley in 1774. What discovery made by those 2 chemists independently? Priestley and Carl Scheele. No, in fact it was oxygen. But nonetheless, you stay with us. You have another £50. You are now, in fact, £200 up, and you have the iron and the camera to add to your many other little trinkets, including kettle, football, bicycle, television, clock, radio, tables, and a whole inventory of prizes, which we're nearly running out of. So let's go and meet the next contestant. The man is going to try and unseat you. Your challenger is Jared Keeley from Kilmore in County Wexford. Jared, you're very, very welcome to Jackpot. A bit daunting probably to take on this man, but take your ease, settle in, have the questions. Let's have a look at the first set of questions. Right, a topical question for you, Brian. Ex-United States President Jimmy Carter's mother died in October 1983. What was her Christian name?
Miss Lillian.
Lillian Carter is right. There's no holding it tonight. Right, coming to you, Jared. The Northern Ireland SDLP has now got 2 MPs at Westminster. John Hume is 1. Can you name the other one? The other SDLP MP at Westminster. No? Sorry. No.
Seamus Mallon.
Seamus Mallon is spot on correct. Right, let's see where we're going from there. Grind them out to us. The arts. Brian, he was born in Liège on the 13th of February, 1903, and was the creator of Inspector Maigret. Can you name him?
Simenon.
Simenon is right, Georges Simenon. George, you have me going, George, Gerard. Gerard, who created the fictional detective Hercule Poirot?
Agatha Christie.
Agatha Christie, spot on correct, yeah. Let's find, George would be a nice change of name, no? I think we'll stick with Gerard. Let's find a new set of questions. History it is. History, Brian. In the Battle of the Boyne. Battle of the Boyne. In 1690, fought with which English Catholic king?
James.
King James II it was. Gerard, what year did the Flight of the Earls take place? Flight of the Earls. Cast your mind back to your history books at school.
1690.
No.
1609.
I'm afraid it was 1607. The Flight of the Earls. Plane had to ride that fast. Right, let's find some new questions. And they're going to be stage and screen questions. Brian, your stage and screen question. Who was the French comedy actor who created the character Monsieur Hulot in a set of different films?
Jack Tatty.
Jack Tatty, you're absolutely right. Gerard, a fictional private detective gained new fame through Humphrey Bogart's portrayal of him in the film The Big Sleep. What was his name? Have a think about that one. A fictional private detective. Transferred to the screen, Humphrey Bogart playing the part.
Mike Cameron.
No.
Hugh Marlowe.
No, I can't give you that actually, sorry. No, it is Philip Marlowe. I think that we'd have to have the two. Let's go on and find a new set of questions. Places. Right, Brian, your places question. In which Irish county is Belmullet?
Mayo.
Well, below Belmullet in the county of Mayo. You're on a jackpot on the next round. Okay, let's come to you, Gerard. In which Irish county is the Gaeltacht area on Rhine?
In Galway.
No.
Waterford.
Waterford it is. Ring in English. Gerard, thank you very much for taking part in Jackpot with us. I hope you enjoyed it. You have a fiver. And we've had the fun and the pleasure of having you in the studio with us. Thanks a lot for taking part. I don't think you need to be too disappointed because you're, this man has the touch with him tonight. He really has the touch with him. The routine at this stage, your 5 jackpot. This is your 5th jackpot, in fact, isn't it? And it'll be over the 2 nights. Right. On your 5th jackpot, will you go on? Will you go for the jackpot prizes? Let's have a look at the jackpot prizes.
If you're tired of fast food, here's the answer for you, a slow cooker. And when you want to know when the meal is done, we'll even throw in a calendar. While the slow cooker is for the person with a more leisurely approach to cooking, we have something to help you while away the meal to get ready. A case of white wine. Now that you have the slow cooker and the case of white wine, what more leisurely setting to use it in than a Shannon cruise? The dinner will be ready by the time you reach Killaloe, and you'll finish the wine on the way back to Athlone.
Okay.
Could I ask a question?
You may, of course.
Is that the only drink there is in RTE?
We keep the rest. It's all locked up in the DG's office, but we can't say that. Right. Which sign of the zodiac is represented? This is for the slow cooker. Which sign of the zodiac is represented by the water bearer? The water bearer. Which sign of the zodiac? Stab, quick stab? No, it's the end of a very long reign. Brian, I'm sort of disappointed to see you go after that. You've had such a long run. It's a pity to see anything. All good things come to an end, but that really was a phenomenal run. If I may just recap for the viewers at home, just to give you an idea of what Brian has achieved. He won 5 jackpots, that's £250. He also won an iron, a camera, a football, a bicycle, a television set, a clock radio, tables, kettles. I'm running out of breath trying to tell you. Congratulations, you've done very well. It was a pleasure having you on the show. So, let's welcome our next contestant.